I hope you're having a great day. Well, today we're going to talk about a problem that plagues hundreds of thousands of people. Children, young adults, the elderly. Sinusitis. Some people call it chronic sinusitis. Some people call it sinus or acute sinus, depending on what the condition is. But sinus is sinus. And the foundation of the body and our lifestyle depends on how bad our sinus will get and how fast we'll be able to heal it. Of course, there are external factors like the environment that can impact our sinus, inside of our homes, the weather changes, allergies, and most sinusitis is basically caused by allergies. It could be number one allergies, it could be a bacterial infection, it could be a normal cold and cough, but you get a very severe bout of it, your immune system is low, you don't take care of yourself, you're low immunity, and then, of course, like I mentioned, you have bacterial and you have viral infections that can lead to sinusitis. Now, we have air-filled cavities on both sides of the nose. And when these air-filled cavities basically get blocked with mucus or congestion, that's the time we have these breathing problems and we feel very, very heavy in our head. Some people get headaches, some people have snoring issues, and some people have breathing issues. A lot of people today are jumping for all of these sleep apnea tests and stuff like that. Do it if you must, but also remember that if you have a problem of sinus, sometimes you can be diagnosed with sleep apnea because it's actually your breathing at night that's creating a problem for you. So whenever we're addressing any medical condition, it is necessary for us to understand the root cause of what is happening. A couple of days ago, I had this young child who came to me with sinusitis with his parents, and during the diagnosis, we found out that there was only one issue that he had. Basically, whenever he traveled to his village home in Goa where he stayed with his parents and they didn't have air conditioners in the home, he was absolutely fine. But the moment he came back to Mumbai and his room was air conditioned, he would wake up with this problem every single day. Yes, air conditioners for most people can create a problem, especially the temperature that you keep it on at night. So when you have the constant blast on your face, basically for some people they can get sinus or colds just with that AC change. So like I said, you can take all the treatments in the world, but sometimes the environment that we're in has to be altered or changed. So am I saying that this person should not live with the air conditioner on? No, but we now have a clue that this person's sinus is triggered when he's in a cold room with no air circulation and the blast of the AC is directly on his face. So some people put dehumidifiers in their room to reduce the amount of moisture, and that works as well. But now let's get straight into solution mode, some of the best natural remedies that you can use, because we need to understand that there is really no medical treatment for sinus, and the more painkillers we take, the more antibiotics we take, it only decreases our immune system. So take it if you need it as a crutch, but try to identify the lifestyle changes that you can make for your family, for your children, or yourself if you suffer from sinusitis. The number one thing is warm liquids. Warm liquids like warm soups, drinking warm water through the day. All of this can help you with your sinusitis. It can help you break down mucus, break down congestion. We need to understand that children or adults who are extremely acidic also have a lot of mucus formation, because acid basically leads to more mucus formation in the body. Your body's trying to push out mucus through your nostrils. A lot of this congestion and too much of mucus can fill these air-filled cavities in your nostrils and also lead to sinusitis. So a lot of people have blocked noses. It's also because they're extremely, extremely acidic. So how to manage acidity, you can watch the video, and we will post that video on how to manage acidity naturally in this thread. Number two is a nasal wash. Now this technique comes from ancient India again. It was using it's called neti, basically washing out your nostrils. So you get a special kind of a jug, a special kind of an instrument where you can fill it with water. But the nasal wash requires you to put half a teaspoon of salt and warm water. And you put it in this neti instrument and you pour it through your nostrils. Okay, and it basically goes through the saline warm water, goes through cleaning out most of the mucus and giving you immediate relief. So this is something that you can do with supervision. Once you learn the technique, you can even do it on your own. 3, it comes down to the concoctions that you drink again. Now this is a super powerful concoction that we've been using with so many people who come to us with sinus problems. So it's a must try. I'm going to give you the recipe right now. You will need apple cider vinegar. So you take about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You need a 1 inch piece of ginger. You need a little bit of lemon, you need a teaspoon of turmeric, you need a dash of black pepper. Now there's something called cayenne pepper. I'm going to spell that out for you. C-A-Y-E-N-N-E, cayenne or cayenne pepper. This is available everywhere. But if you are using cayenne pepper and you have a Hashimoto's thyroid or you have an autoimmune disorder, I don't recommend that you use cayenne pepper in any of your concoctions or any of your food. But other than that, what you're going to do is you're going to boil the piece of ginger, or 1-inch piece of mashed ginger. You're going to boil it with 1 teaspoon of turmeric, okay, 1 or 2 black peppercorns. Now I would add 3 to 4 pods of mashed garlic. I know it may not taste that good for you, but that's why we can add the honey post we boil the mixture. Garlic is extremely beneficial when it comes to sinus. It is extremely beneficial. There are medical studies showing how garlic can actually break down congestion and mucus and can also give you immediate relief to your sinus. Now, if you don't like the taste of garlic, you don't like eating it, you know, you get garlic capsules and garlic pills as well. So you can even use that. But I would prefer the raw form over supplements any day. So what you're going to do is take that 1-inch piece of ginger, 2 or 3 pods of garlic. If it's too strong, start off with 1 pod of garlic, which you mash. A teaspoon of turmeric, 2 or 3 black peppercorns. You make a concoction out of this. You boil it. And then you cool it. You add a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and you can sweeten it with a teaspoon or a tablespoon of honey. Remember, the honey that you use should always be raw, unpasteurized. If raw and unpasteurized is not written on the honey bottle, don't have it. It can be organic honey, it could be all of that stuff, but it should be written raw and unpasteurized. That's what makes that honey medicinal in value. If it's pasteurized honey, doesn't matter if it's organic, you don't get the medical properties of it. You mix this and you have it once or twice a day. Have it warm, have it lukewarm. This is fantastic for your sinus. Now, if you don't like the apple cider vinegar and all of that stuff, you can even make a plain concoction of ginger, turmeric, black pepper, boil it, reduce it to half, and you can sip on that as well. Okay, steaming. Steaming is fantastic for the sinus, but just don't do it once in a way. Make a habit out of steaming if you have chronic or acute sinusitis. You take a bowl of hot water, you put 1 or 2 drops of peppermint oil, pure peppermint essential oil. You can put either a teaspoon of turmeric, some people put eucalyptus oil. These are all powerful essential oils for your sinus. Figure out which one you like. You put a towel over your head and you do it. Please be careful that you do not drop the hot water on your body, or especially if your children are doing it. Please do it in a supervised way. Sometimes if you don't want to do that, you can spend a little bit of money and you can get an inhaler. So the water is safe inside that inhaler. It's like it's a little machine where you just put your nose in and you inhale. That way you keep yourself safe from this hot water falling and burning yourself. So what you can do is you can put peppermint oil, you can put eucalyptus oil, a teaspoon of turmeric, and if you don't want to do any of that, just do plain steam inhalation. This is great. You got to keep opening up the blocked sinus cavities in your nose, and that's how it works. Now, eucalyptus oil, get a good eucalyptus oil, a good, really good quality eucalyptus oil, and just before you sleep at night, you can take a drop and just put it on the bridge of your nose, just below your nostrils, okay, and you can go to sleep. So that keeps working for you even while you sleep. Now, if ACs don't work for you, try to keep the AC on maybe an hour before you sleep, and then put it off while you're in the bedroom, and keep a fan on so you can circulate the cold air. Because air conditioners, for most people, it does create a lot of problems with sinus. Some people it doesn't, but remember, we're all unique and we're all different. For some people it will work, for some people it doesn't, but it could be a trigger or a root cause that you want to address. A warm water compress. You take a cloth, you soak it in warm water, and that warm water compress, you put it on the areas, especially when you get that headache when you have sinus. These are the areas right over here, your temples, below your eyes, your nose, and over here. So you put a warm compress, and that can give you immediate relief when you have that. Now, stay hydrated. The more water you have, the less acidity you have in your system. So stay hydrated. When it comes to foods, if you have severe chronic sinusitis, you need to get off dairy. You need to get off wheat as well. And you got to limit your fried foods. Okay, because these are all mucus forming in the body. You got to stay off dairy and see. If you get off dairy and you feel better, you know that it's a problem food. If you get off dairy for maybe 2 weeks and you find absolutely no difference in your sinus, then you can get back on it. Good quality dairy. But initially, if you stay off wheat, you stay off dairy, you stay off fried foods, maybe just a little bit is fine, but fried foods, you will find some amount of relief, because we're trying to reduce inflammation in the system. Garlic, onion, and ginger are super powerful when it comes to sinus. This could be the base of your vegetables, your curries, and all of that stuff. Or I like this simple drink where you just mash ginger, garlic, okay, you eat raw onion with every meal. That's a great Indian habit anyway, and you can add anything else that you want. What is really powerful in the category of herbs is basil leaves and oregano. You can buy this dried in the market, on Amazon, anywhere else, and keep these bottles at home always, because to your concoction you can also boil basil or tulsi leaves. You boil tulsi leaves and you boil oregano leaves together in a small concoction, and this can give you immediate relief from your sinus. And these are the natural things that you do. Now, a lot of people, because they have blocked noses, they use these nasal sprays to get relief. It's good, but the more you use the nasal sprays, it starts drying up all of your mucosal membranes inside of your nose, and then you start having a problem of dry membranes, and you're in this vicious cycle of not recovering from your sinusitis. What is equivalent to your nasal spray? I know it's easy for you, you can carry it to office, on flights, but steam inhalation is basically your substitute, your alternative for that. So try to do that maybe once in the morning before you leave for work, and maybe once in the evening just before you go to bed. But these are natural ways to treat sinusitis. Of course, sometimes you have a deviated septum and all of that stuff. It will require surgery or other medical alternatives. But first, always try to identify your root cause, your triggers of sinusitis. Exercise, fantastic, because when we exercise more, we breathe more. When we breathe more, we open up all the pores. And certain yoga asanas as well. A downward dog. Holding a downward dog, or even doing a forward bend and holding that forward bend for 30 seconds to a minute and just focusing on your inhale and exhale, you'll find that all that heaviness starts to come out. Sometimes in your forward bend position, you'll also find that mucus is dripping out of your nose. So even yoga asanas, everything, the holistic way. Try to heal that way. Take medicine if you have to, but try to do it with most lifestyle changes as far as possible. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. There's another thing that I forgot. You get something called Tiger Balm. Tiger Balm is a natural medicine that is actually used in places like Thailand and Southeast Asia. And when you get a good quality Tiger Balm, applying it on the temples, applying it a little bit on the areas very close to your sinus and your nose, can also create that heat that allows the mucus to flow out. So there are a lot of natural things that you can do. Try it, see what works for you. But always address the root cause of your problem. Have a great day, everyone.